You know, after the last video, a friend of mine said to me, I suspect you're gonna make a follow-up video, because whenever you go on an anti-gamer tear, retards come out the woodwork in your comment section. Indeed, how right he was. Not gonna lie though, I went through the comment section at first and went, holy hell, there's some alarmingly stupid people here. This is looking kinda rough. But after a while, more of my subs came in and naturally it started to even out and tilt back towards sanity. Which is a nice way of boosting my ego and saying only smarter people watch me. Woo! Which compliments both myself and the audience, so well done to all of us. And bollocks to all the low IQ plebs. And by the way, I know there's some people who think I'm in the wrong here, but that's only because you're really cringe and gay. Believing that gaming should be about more than just a basic bitch appeal to the aesthetics is not a hill I'm going to die on. It's one I'll stand on triumphantly, and then take a seat on a throne amassed of your skulls. All joking aside though, believe it or not, the recognition that games should be about more than just the aesthetics is an opinion shared by the majority of gamers. In much the same way that no amount of pristine CGI is going to make Hollywood suck less asshole. And if you disagree with this, you're in the minority. You're just a really loud minority, like a bunch of obese chihuahuas. But yeah, there you go. There's Spoon's philosophy of gaming. There's more important things than the aesthetics. In fact, yeah, I'll give you all a breakdown. Here's Spoon's hierarchy of gaming, alright? Number 1, hands down the most important, nothing else even comes remotely close. Controls. If the game handles like arse, everything else is pointless. Number 2, programmed well. If it's munching unnecessary resources and crashing left, right, and fucking center, it's bollocks. Next up, most important one, past the technicalities. Number 3, is the game fun to play? Shocking variable, I know. Number 4, good story. And lastly, number 5, graphics. So yeah, there you go. And by the way, point of videos like this, and the previous one, is primarily to exile the plebs, because I am a snooty Puritan, and because I don't care for the opinions of addicted one-trick ponies. The kind of people I would like around here are the OG of gamers. People who can recall, say, the opening sound of the PlayStation intro. Those who can remember that PC towers used to be horizontal. You know, with the old CRT monitors on top of them? A command prompt in MS-DOS, that kind of throwback. Games like Lemmings and Desert Strike, Abuse, Blackthorn, Earthworm Jim, the original Prince of Persia, Jetpack, Jazz Jackrabbit, Magic Pockets, Prehistoric, Golden Axe, Zool, Outrun, Death Rally, Lamborghini American Challenge, Wacky Wheels, Quake, Wolfenstein 3D, Duke Nukem 3D, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, One Must Fall, Warcraft, Age of Empires, Command & Conquer, Dune 2000, whose menu music still freaks the hell out of me. That to me was gaming. And yes, all hail the glorious PC Master Race, naturally. And I was going through the comments and you can really easily tell who never finished the video. They just hit a certain triggering point and felt compelled to drop their low IQ dribbling opinion. Had they simply watched till the end of the video and stave off the urge to bitch, you wouldn't be subjected to their asinine opinions and facepalm detesting humanity a little more than you already do. God bless the subs who have the patience, or amusement perhaps, to engage in the tard wrangling, because there were quite a few comments who got mentally fried on the ban part, and they were asked, where does Spoon say he's for banning anything though? It's a good question, because at no point during the video did I advocate for banning anything, merely explain how and why the banning option becomes increasingly attractive, hence the abortion comparison. Which was excellent, by the way, shame it's wasted on idiots. You know, something hit me yesterday reading the comments on the video, and on the community post as well. If I see a horde posting utter brain rot, yet there's a handful of people who get it, the problem isn't me. The reason I say this with the utmost of confidence is because if the handful of people can not only get it, but summarize my thought process in under a paragraph, it means my explanation is fine, the horde is just really fucking stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's read some comments. If we are banning vices here, well, we're not, so this comment already failed to launch, so this one should be fun. Why not alcohol? Oh yeah, because it's your vice. Again, never advocated for banning anything. Maybe watch till the end of the video before you open your reactionary yapper and end up being the subject of one of these videos. Your war on gamers is like the old man yells at Cloud Simpsons gag. It's a bit dramatic, the next part makes it even funnier though. I used to think you were an intelligent individual. What you mean were? I still am. And judging by this comment, I doubt anyone will mistake you for one, and as such your opinion on intelligence is hardly a meritocratic one now, is it? But from this one-sided war with people who mostly agree with you, no, I think you will find most people agree wholeheartedly with my sentiments. It's just a handful of degenerates who routinely lose their marbles and appeal to the majority to avoid criticism. And yes, the irony is not lost on me. I know I'm doing the exact same thing. And your F-up with Aiden, you have convinced me you are just an imperialist drunken version of Matt Walsh, minus the documentary skills. I think it's a tad hyperbolic because I'll bet there's not a single person here who thinks I'm an imperialist version of Matt Walsh. You definitely missed why people were mad at the IGN French article. People weren't mad the writer didn't like Eve's design. Yes, they absolutely were. Who are you kidding? People called out the writer for lack of research when they said Eve looked like she was designed by a person that never saw a woman before, when anyone that was keeping up with the game long before it released knew that Eve's body was based on a real Korean model. It was another point on the graph of, you don't hate game journals enough for failing to know something so basic. Now the statement was probably made on purpose, for clicks or even just a virtue signal. But regardless, it was the hyper point of contention for the people calling it out. Okay, no. You can't just pause and bypass regardless here, because this potential admission changes everything. This potential variable is goalpost shift. You went from ignorance on the body model to this was added for virtue signaling purposes. So you're implying it might have nothing to do with ignorance on the part of the journalist, but rather said virtue signaling of IGN, at which point your ire here is reserved for editorial oversight, not so much the individual journalist. Furthermore, just to play devil's advocate here, because it's funnier that way, if you believe this potential theory, how much of the review do you believe is the honest opinion of the journalist himself? Because if you reckon only the model part is the ideological adherence, why did you not simply read the rest of the review like I did? And if it's all of it, well, then the ideologically possessed can still competently do their jobs, just short-circuit once in a while. But still, your ire here is editorial oversight and not the journalist. And notice what this whole post was all about, the appearance of the character, which once again was my entire point in the first place. This really odd post that I assume was trying to correct me in some sense ended up weakening your own position and strengthening mine. That is quite the self-own there, well done indeed. But rather than me elaborate, let's get Von 7009 to do it for us. The job of a review is to give your opinion on something. If there is something that you don't like, you state it. People will then look at your opinion, and if they agree with your opinions, they will then use your reviews on products. If you think the gameplay in a game is good or if the art style is bad, these are subjective matters and will be entirely based on opinion. You're very clearly not as smart as you think you are by spewing this nonsense, and no, the main character's looks is not inconsequential in a third-person game where you'll be staring at their back end for the entire game. People were angry because the reviewer didn't like the character design. End of. There is no integrity of the reviewer at stake here. There was an opinion and people didn't like it and threw a massive hissy fit over it. If anything, this just feels like you trying to justify something that you partook in and are now realizing was actually petty and dumb. I tip my hat. Round of applause. Well done indeed, good sir. Next up, if you are so incompetent that you don't know sex sells, then your chance at being competent enough to do anything else is close to zero. Really? You mean this highly addictive thing we're discussing also sells like hotcakes? No shit, Sherlock. Fucking imbecile. You have a personality disorder. You seem to thrive on alienating people.
Yes, I do.
I do get a cathartic kick out of engaging in quality control and purging my audience of every rancid wanker who does nothing other than piss me off and raise my blood pressure. Case in point, the fucking idiot in the previous comment. Now you know why I drink. Then we have this last comment, which is massively long, so I won't read all of it. Feel free to do so in your own time. Either pause the video or go to the community tab. I think it's the second last one. But he says here there are two major problems with my distinction of what makes a real gamer. Except there aren't, and I'm right. Case in point, starting off with nothing concrete, but rather an implication that my saying that real gamers spend more time playing games than talking about them implies real gamers won't give pushback or counter my arguments. That has nothing to do with my argument about gaming though, merely how I would personally qualify a gamer, someone who has spent a large volume of time actually playing games. I don't think you will find many people who disagree with this assessment, and if they do, bollocks to them. But also, this is cowardly and intellectually dishonest, a statement used to shut down any meaningful conversation. There's a lot of assumptions there that you just pulled out of your ass. Couple of things. Abstaining from a conversation does not equate to shutting it down. It just means I don't wish to engage. Does anyone remember Grums, that idiot whose ass the entire gaming sphere on YouTube kissed for months on end? Remember his big brain idea for getting rid of the DEI nonsense in gaming? Oh yeah, buy nothing AAA for 2 years. Notice in this pitch, there is no dialogue, there is no conversation. It's pure abstinence. The whole voting with your wallet gimmick that these people are so terribly fond of. Far as meaningful conversation is concerned, give me a frickin' break. Look at Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age Veilguard. 2014, 2024. 10 years and 2 Gamergates later. Tell me, what the hell has your dialogue achieved? Nothing. It's achieved everyone sitting around waiting for the market to implode. Which ironically is exactly what Grums was advocating for. Presumably a result attained faster by doing bugger all but playing games you would actually give your time and money to. All of which went out the window the moment Sony dangled some Korean slop to the TNA-addicted masses. If they could actually keep their pricks in their pants and stop buying it, it might work. But you're asking neuron-blasted ADHD cases to abstain from stimuli. And if that worked, the whole bloody porn debate wouldn't be controversial in the bloody first place. It's not about the good ones shut up and don't argue. I don't need to tell them that. The good ones can see the shit show and don't bother because they have a functioning brain. These people are wearing pissed vision. They need sobriety because God knows they're huffing oceanic quantities of copium. Say what you like about me, but when it comes to honesty, I am blunt force trauma, and I will not be swayed by the desires of the audience. Stop giving your time and attention to these snake oil salesmen who just want to blow smoke up your ass and peddle you false hope for the sake of their own wallet. What have these people actually accomplished other than grown fatter of your rage? Nothing. Stop being a sucker and realize you're being taken for a ride. Then it's his distinction for the Goonies is overgeneralizing and dishonest. It's a rather curious statement to make, seeing as I've never given a definition as to what they even are. Cliché leftist comparisons, Nazi, etc., etc. And the rest of it is just the banning rubbish, which, again, I never advocated for. It's funny that he talks about me strawmanning when that is what he's doing here in this meandering long bollock and ramble. Everyone arguing against my position is degenerate. That's because they are. And notice the statement there is against my position and not me. So why do we ask the audience here? Because I know I am not the only one who believes that gaming should be about more than just the basic bitch appeal to the aesthetics. Guarantee the people who also hold this position has found those who disagree with them are more often than not rampaging filthy degenerates. Oh, and by the way, the leftist comparison was not because of political affiliation or action. I just consider them equally as stupid, or in some cases even worse. You would think they'd clock this, considering the post he's commenting on literally has me stating this in the comparison. If you believe I'm wrong and wish me to eat humble pie, it would greatly behoove your position if you would think before you speak and not prove my point every time you open your fucking noise hole. Oh, and by the way, one last thing. To the asshole who called me a pearl-clutching tourist, listen here, Junior. I have been gaming since a 486, the days of command prompts and MS-DOS. I am old enough to remember 3.5s and the Pentium coming in. I've been gaming since before you were just a floating mistake in your father's nutsack. Don't you ever call me a tourist, you insipid little pisser, and get fucked.